What's good, YouTube land? That weird collector here. Moving up to the Voyagers. It's Apeface. It's a box with a picture of Apeface. Right there. And then that picture. That. And the obligatory product shots. And here is Apeface in his robot mode. And the biggest thing about this guy is he's a leftover from Titan's Return. Because if you know Apeface, you know he's a headmaster. He doesn't really belong. He's been probably adjusted to fit better in the Siege line, but I imagine they wanted to release him in Titan's Return, but there's kind of nobody else you can repaint him into, so they probably held off for maybe that reason, maybe not, I don't know. But here is his head. It is purple, it's silver and red, and looks okay for a Titan Master face. And yet again, 3 for 3 in this wave of looking very accurate to the original G1 toy. Like, crosshairs, the head doesn't match what the rest of the body does. This guy, well, we're gonna dive right into it. He looks pretty good proportionally. He's got gigantic, like, his legs work, but they do look a little huge. Like, he's got that big a thigh and whoa, that big shin, but this it plays a purpose in the transformation and the other modes. Because not only, the other thing that makes him definitely a Titan's Return Voyager is he's a triple changer. Given the name, you obviously realize he turns into a gorilla, but can you figure out what else he turns into? We'll see. He's got his Decepticon insignia right there. The one thing I heard about this guy right before I got him was the white plastic. Now, if I just remove his weapons, you can see his main torso, bits of his legs, bits of his butt flap, and other stuff. That bit right here are all this creamy white. And apparently there are issues with people who've gotten copies of him that have swirled white plastic. Now, here's the thing about the swirling. It was a common thing back in the late 80s, like Generation 2, all the way to the early 90s, for gold plastic. It used to be swirled, which meant like it was destined to crumble to bits due to poor construction. The swirled plastic represents like mixing plastics, which don't always go together. And thankfully, for pictures I've seen of this guy more recently, and looking at mine, there doesn't seem to be a problem with it. Like, it looks solid. It looks like it's not going to break. At least I hope it doesn't. Detail-wise, there's quite a bit of detail in his abs right there. Tons of paint, silver paint splooged onto his shins. I know what I said. And shoulders to represent the battle damage. And also this conspicuous pink thing here, which is totally not anything that'll be in later modes. He's one of the few robots I know who has kidneys. He has a kidney and whatever's on the other side. Appendix, spleen, liver, I don't know. But those are there. And he's also got some nice purple and black to accompany his creamy white. So articulation-wise, his head is a Titan Master neck joint. So it's sideways, rotation, forward and backwards. Although mine is a case of it's a bit less wobbly if you twist the Titan Master head to the position I have it this way and sticking the neck hole. It's not as solid a connection as if you do it the other way. Like, well, like that. This is a bit wobblier, but it's not going to pop off because it's locked on there. It's just a bit of a bobblehead syndrome. Eh. No, it doesn't. It just, I don't know. Shoulders, universal. Go straight out, all the way around. You got your bicep swivel, your single hinge elbow. It's actually also, due to transformation, a backward hinge. So you can go forward and backwards. Nothing at the wrist, obviously, because they transform. The biggest disappointment, nothing at the waist. He doesn't have a waist joint due to, like, this stuff. I don't know. Well, the peg hole for his shield goes right there, so I guess they couldn't functionally put a waist joint in, but it really sucks. There's a Tamashi peg hole right there, which is only usable in robot mode. Hips, universal, go forwards. I like how the trick they pull to move around the base of the joint. That's kind of neat. You've got your thigh swivel and your 90-degree knee, although it does get the butt flap gets in the way. And you do have well, this is more of a transformation joint, but you can still use it. They also have this for an ankle tilt, the whole foot. So that's the basic sway of robot posability. Trying to look at other details. On the back, it's quite a bit of kibble, but it hides away and I'm not mad at it. Given how much this toy has to do, I kind of see this as like the best possible way they could have done it because from the front, it's not visible. Like these bits, you'd have to like look for them to find them. And the jet bits, well, spoiler, he turns into a jet. A jet. The wings are my biggest issue. Look at that. So this is like a G1 accurate and all that with the wings pegged back here. And I really like that the tops of his shoulders peg in so they're locked in place so they don't move with the arm. But look, the wings are thin plastic and they're bent back at such an awkward angle. It really annoys me because they look like they'll just break. And for weaponry, he has this gun, which for some reason I can't look at and not see the pistol that Arnold grabbed in that one scene in Terminator where he's grabbing all the weapons. Like, I know that gun was silver, but I look at what's basically a handheld pistol with a scope on it, and that's what comes to mind. What is this gun called? An SA Sonic Boom Blaster. Sonic Boom! What is he, Guile? Oh, he also comes with this, which is another source of issues with this guy. And the box art shows it pegged on here as a shield. But you can also peg it here. Sort of peg it in his hand as he might be. Nah, it doesn't fit. Like, it's too loose. There are no pegs on his shins, which is sign of he definitely wasn't designed for Siege. And they kind of have to force him into Siege afterwards. You could plug it in here if you want. Could plug it into a wing or the main place it's supposed to go right there. But looking at the shield, it's okay. Other than the conspicuous gap right there. You can tell by the peg there, it's translucent blue plastic, but painted over in pink and has a lot of molded in detail. No, I'm fine with it. That, though, it's sticking out that far? Nah, brah. It should hug tighter to his arm. Either, like, it's designed for his other modes, not really designed for his robot mode. Speaking of other modes, we will get to them. But first, one funny thing you can do with the Titan Master, who I checked and actually does not have a name, is... So the way this guy works is he's got one head that does both the robot and the gorilla. So you have the gorilla head right there, and you can give him a gorilla face. Silly little thing, but I think it works. Yeah. His head probably looked like that at some point. So this guy is also the first modern take of Apeface we've had since the G1 toy, because the only other Apeface that's come out was a Titan's Return Headmaster, obviously, but like just the head with just the head, but with the Minicon or the Micromaster vehicle that turned into an ape or a jet. So it was a pretty decent Legends take on him. Oh, and apparently there's another version of his head came with Condor in the Legends class line. Huh. Okay. So now we're going to get to the first alt mode, and I'll just show you. I'll take this guy because we're not going to see him in this mode. He's got a little bit of red, a little bit of silver, and big black arms that have to, be on ball joints, but they also have to fill out the size of his head. Because he's got quite the significantly bigger head than most Titan Masters, given he's got two different faces on it. Do I have any Titan Masters? No, I don't. Well, okay. This is going to be awkward, but I do have 6-shot right here. So let's see if we take out his head. If we can take a finger. There we go. And if we plug let's say the robot version of the head, it doesn't even go in. Doesn't even go in. So if we try and plug it goes in like that, but that looks really awkward. Oh, nope. I actually made it work. Oh, shit. Ooh, that doesn't look good. It looked like it was flexing the plastic. Yeah, it definitely was flexing the plastic, so. It doesn't really... It's not compatible with any leader classes, I guess. Probably only be compatible with the deluxes that have no kibble right behind their necks. You could also just pop him right in there. As much as this guy's nice, I kind of hope they at least take one more stab at him Because he deserves more than, like, this is nice, but I don't know. It's too much like the G1 toy. Which is weird considering I'm, god darn it, praising the line of Siege for being G1 toy accurate. But I'm praising the color scheme and like the placement of the colors more than whatever. Unfortunately, one thing I have to mention, this leg is a little bit floppy, just right there. Can't really hold it up, but let's go into ape mode. So fold in the wrists, and you use the joint to fold this back all the way. Now, in the package, this piece is going to be right down here. And what I like to do is just put it back here because it limits the extra kibble hanging off. Although you could make jokes about he's got a monkey's ass, or he's got a monkey's face coming out his ass. There's going to be a lot of that thing happening with this toy. A lot of heads going on asses. I'll just say that. So one thing, fold the feet up. You want to also fold them down for right now because we need them out of the way. Unfold the leg all the way out, and you can leave it right there for now, and we can fold the foot back up. Do the same thing the other side. You just need that clearance. Fold it back up. Fold that up. We can take this big piece, leave it there. Take the gorilla feet. You're going to want to bring them all the way down like that. All the way down. You can kind of leave them like that for right now, like kind of like this. Oh, excuse me. This would be a good time to take his shield and plug it in right there, just to have it out of the way. Now take these pieces, and they're on this series of hinges. So 1, 2, 3 hinges. You want to fold them in, and there are 2 little slots right there in his belly. You want to tab them in there. Just make sure they rest there. That's a kind of like a thing that I wish those joints were used in the robot mode. And then you want to fold this down, and you can fold this back along with taking these pieces and folding them in and trying to just find the tabs that they go in. Like, they attach to the piece, like, supposedly, but it feels very, like, it looks like that, basically. It's like, and I'll put the feet down here. So then you want to take this leg, pull it forward, pull the white piece all the way out, and then there's a piece. There's his hand, one gorilla hand. Also, you can take these, and they actually have a specific tab in connection right here. So they lock in place. And just hope everything's secure, because it doesn't feel like it. We'll get to that. And then rotate. No, come on. See. This guy doesn't really solidify during his transformation until you kind of have him done, in my opinion. So then do the same thing. Fold the arm, fold the arm. And then you want to take this piece, and this is a bit of an issue, but there's a C-clamp right in there. You have to get it over the jet canopy, and it gets kind of awkward because you have to play with like where things are. You have to play with physics a little bit. But if you get it over, you can tab in tab into the the front. Oh my god, come on, dude. You're making me look bad. Okay. That's one thing that I wished was a little bit better on this guy was like things coming together. Like things tabbing in and then staying. So basically what you want is something that looks like this, and then you take this face, plug it in, and then make sure it actually stays, which it doesn't like to. Oh, come on. Like, there are things trying to hold it together, but there. And then you can take the gun, plug it in right here, and there you have. Not quite. There. You're gorilla mode. it's um it's a gorilla, I guess. How do I want to pose him? Well, his head is designed to look straightforward, so I guess we'll do the quadruped thing. But yeah. First off, there's his Titan Master connection right in his ass. That is his ass. His head is literally up his ass. In more ways than one. If I had some spare Titan Masters on the go besides 6-shots, I could literally plug another head right in his ass. Oh my. But I kind of like, there's quite a bit of visual change, actually. You go from something that's like standing to, well, not a lot of pieces really, like, there's not a lot of movement. Like, the biggest movement is just his legs folding up into his chest. There's a lot of visual change. Although my biggest complaint is, yeah, those arms right there, those robot mode arms are just hanging off. But I like how he reveals a whole other set of arms through his legs. So, yeah. I've actually found you can stand him up on a table like this. Although he can't look straight forward, he will actually balance on these two tiny legs. So you can kind of, well, it's kind of awkward, but that's the best he can look in this position. Or he can balance, obviously, on all fours. It's kind of, it would be stupid if he couldn't. But I don't, his hands might be able to hold something. He just, like, he could hold something like that. Because he is a knuckle dragger. I'm really surprised they didn't do Optimal Optimus out of this guy. Like, they gave Optimal Optimus a brand new figure, but they could have easily repainted this guy into Optimal Optimus, or maybe Optimus Primal, whichever version you want. Like, it works well. It incorporates the jet mode better than his original toy, which is sitting right behind the camera. Sure, it doesn't make sense for him to be a headmaster, but It also doesn't make sense for him to evolve from a tiny little basic deluxe sized Optimus Primal to that big Optimal Optimus. Get wild with it. I think people are already making customs of it, which is awesome. Articulation in this mode. This head is on a ball joint. It's on a very awkward angle, so you can only get like curious pup head tilt out of it, but freaking look at those sharp teeth. That is hilarious. He is definitely a Decepticon, if that bright purple badge right there didn't already tell you. But he can get that much range. He can look up and look that much down. These arms are on big old ball joints and tend to be stronger than the joints holding his chest piece, his chest together. So you can go all the way around. You can go in and out. There's cut that far, rotation. You can. These bits are on hinges, so he's kind of pulling stuff to him. Doesn't really look that organic, but it's okay for what it's trying to accomplish. And also, this is on a hinge and go all the way up that far, all the way down, obviously, to transform. You can get a series of a small amount of dynamic poses with him, I think. It's definitely not terrible. And it's kind of funny, also. These hips are on there's no outward joint, but there's a forward and backwards at here, and a forwards and backwards at the white bit, along with a hinge. So hinge, a hinge, and a hinge to basically either be all the way back or be that far forward, that can go that far down, or all the way up due to transformation. But yeah, that's like his very limited articulation, but again, the only other monkey I'm comparing to is Optimus Primal or Optimal Optimus. And that guy was designed with the monkey mode first. This guy is obviously designed robot mode first. So like all the articulation is more dedicated towards robot mode, but they gave the gorilla mode as much as they could. I'll say that. You can also see it's sort of hard, but here, he's got a face poking out right there. He's got his robot mode face poking out right there. Can you do anything else? Oh, there are hard points on the forearms. I don't know if I mentioned, but there are hard points on the robot mode shoulders. And there's also a Tamashii peg right there to use for this mode or the next mode. So for the next mode, we're actually not that far. Just remove the robot mode head. Or I mean the gorilla mode head. And you're going to want to tuck it all the way back up into his jet canopy. So, and then that goes there. And then you want to fold the robot mode, the gorilla mode, legs back up and just tab them right here. Same thing. And you're close to done, actually. It's very simple to go from gorilla to jet. It's about the same amount of steps to go from robot to gorilla as robot to jet. So this part is going to swing down, and actually you're going to want to unfold that. And it's going to tab into these two holes right here using these two pink nubs right there. So it's kind of awkward the first time, but once you realize what's happening, you can do it pretty easily. And then right now you're going to want to take this part off. And this is one thing everyone's going to warn you about. This is the most dangerous piece right here. Because this is tabbed in or pegged in pretty tightly, it has a very high chance to snap. If it's pegged in tightly, like mine is, but you might get one that's a bit looser. So you just need to give it a wobble, like side to side, maybe up and down. Just very slowly wiggle it out of there, because it's not going to give you anything. Like, this is very thin plastic, it's easily going to break. And then just wiggle it out until. So this right here is actually a Titan Master cockpit. So you can fold the wings out. And they're sort of articulate, but you can, other than that, you can, well, his kidneys function as pulling out things, so you can pull out, push them back in. But now you want to lift up the canopy. The best way I found to do this for this guy is put him like that. And then you want to just like, he's got 2 Titan Master foot pegs right there. He also has Titan Master foot pegs on the Gorilla Mode shoulders, which I just noticed and before. Along with this butt flap, sort of. They're not really that tight. Nope. Do you have them anywhere else? Not that I can see. But yeah, you want to do that, and then you want to extend his legs backwards so he's sitting right there, and then canopy over. It's kind of awkward because he's sitting on his face. Insert your own jokes here. And this piece right here, you can actually just stuff it all the way up so it's solid. And then take these, rotate them like that so they're up there. They're basically in their robot mode configuration, but then you can finish off by putting the shield back on and pegging the gun into the, into the canopy like that, or like that. There are 2 peg holes, and this is your jet mode. It's a block. It's a big old block with wings. It looks absolutely ridiculous, but yet it always has. That's always been the thing with Apeface's flying mode, jet mode, whatever you want to call it. It's always looked silly. And it's always going to look silly if you're trying to be faithful to the character. But what to say other than, at least all the white lines up uniformly. Like, it tries to make it look like it's a cohesive piece, but then you look underneath and it's like it's a folded up robot. I mean, it's like not visually there from the side because they're just pieces of it. So it can kind of pass by as I'm like, okay, can kind of willingly give it a pass, but again, you can plug his head into his ass. And his wings, to me, they look like they're put on backwards. Like this was actually like a fan factory, because it looks like the flat bit should be backwards. Unless that's just how Apeface rolls. I don't know. But it feels like the angled pieces should be pointing forwards. Maybe that's just me. And it's definitely easy to tell what's the pink plastic and what's the pink paint. But other than that, the only thing we have revealed is the cockpit, which again has a ton of that battle damage paint on it, along with a little bit of an underbite from his gorilla face. It's kind of mean looking and also kind of adorable. I do like how his jet canopy has 3 different cockpits, which try and look like eyes. Like that from the front, it's kind of it looks silly, but yet again, it's Apeface. It's always gonna look silly. That's specifically the point, I think, of Apeface is he looks silly. And unfortunately, there's no landing gear, and the Tamashii stage port is right there, so it's kind of really off balance considering look how much weight is going to be forward. You can peg a gun into one of his feet if you want. Oh, I didn't even mention the silver and red highlights that are on his gorilla mode shins. Arms. Gorilla mode arms. But other than that, there's it doesn't even really look like it would fly on those small wings, really. Like, those don't look like they can fly. I'm sorry, but he is not aerodynamic. Oh, and the gorilla mode legs actually sort of tab into the wings. Not really securely, but they do. They at least try. I'll give it credit again for all the white going in the right spot to make it look like it's one cohesive piece, but I don't know. I'm still a sucker for the pink. And that's it for Apeface. Yeah, I recommend him. Here's the thing why I said Spinister will be the sleeper hit. Because the only other toy, at least non Micromaster scale, is Astro Train at the leader class. So, like, Crosshairs, he's an easy one. He's a repaint. You're easily going to make your money back. People are going to buy him. He's an easy mold. Easy repaint to turn out for Hasbro. This guy, I think the name alone is going to attract people even if they don't know the character. Like, you're going to hear the word Apeface and see that he's a robot gorilla. And your little kids are going to go, ooh, I want that one, kind of thing. Astro Train, everyone's going to buy Astro Train. Like, really, Astro Train is one of those heavily bankable characters. But Spinister, again, no, you're going to only attract hardcore fans or people who already know, like, people already know Spinister. Like, I don't think the casual fans are going to look at Spinister really the same way they're going to look at this guy or Astro Train or Crosshairs, but I definitely think all of them are worth looking at. Yeah, I think they're all worth looking at, and they're all worth owning. Besides the waist swivel, the lack of a waist swivel on this guy, there's not much else I could complain about. Like, it's all fine, it's all good. Like, it's a good articulation in robot mode, decent, acceptable articulation in gorilla mode, a lot of visual change between the modes. Like, even between this mode and the gorilla mode, there is still some visual change, like the folding out of the wings and the flipping out of the new face. And like, there's less visual change, but there is still some. So like, there's fun to be had transforming this guy into each of his modes and just. I think people are gonna go for Apeface. Probably just because the name, again, just because the name is so funny, like Apeface. Like, that's a funny name. Like, it doesn't really tell you he's a Decepticon. It's just he is an ape and he does have a face. He also has a really tiny Decepticon logo right there. You know, robots in disguise and all that. Who's going to be fooled by this, really? Eh. Hold him like this, he could be an ice cream cone. Yeah. a shitty ice cream cone, but I definitely think Apeface is worth checking out. He's definitely the least simple in a good way of the Titans Return Voyager class triple changers. Like all the rest of them were very simple, like Astro Train again. Even looking at the leaders like Overlord and Six Shot. Six Shot doesn't count because he has so many modes that you have to think about. But like, who else? Like, Octane and Blitzwing. He fits amongst them as sort of their like the ridiculous one because his alt modes aren't realistic to Earth like Octane and Blitzwing are. But I think he fits around them on the moderate level of complexity where you don't have to think about it, but like once you get it down the first time, it's easy to remember. It's like boom, boom, boom. But the first time you might be questioning where things go. But once you get it, like it can be very quick and very fun to flip him into each mode. And he's not like ridiculously simple. Like just move this piece, move this piece. Like there's quite a bit going on here. I think I'm just rambling about saying the same thing over and over again. Check out Apeface. Don't let him pass you by. So thank you for watching. He's angry. Buy him. I hope you have enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time for what I believe is review number 300. Hype! 300 hype. Oh, I can mention this. He's got 5mm ports on each of his wings that I probably failed to mention before. So you can stick a few more weapons on it, but bye. Keep it weird. This guy is weird. But also, actually, I'm in kind of a beast mood right now. So no, this guy's not 300. 300 should have already come out somewhere around this. But tune in next time as we go back to the 90s. Beast Wars style.